How the hell are you? Happy Wednesday, hump day. God, I wish. Hold on, I got to turn down the volume here or there. Oh, I look so. Oh yeah, see, I knew I almost beat it. Welcome. It's the Bondzee show. I gotta change the name of that. I don't know why. You know what? One of my really dearest friends in the world. His name's Frank. That's all I'll give you. He's a legend. You think I got stories and I'm funny? I would bring him on the show and stuff, but he's like very, very private and particular. Whereas, it's funny because we're the bestest of friends, but he is like legendary and has so many stories, but is super, super private. We're old Bondzee. Private, it ain't in my vocabulary, as you know. If you're a fan of the show, if you're not, welcome to the show. If it's your first time, welcome to Bondzee Live on Trippin with Bondzee on YouTube. I've been bombing across the USA in my bus, and we are also live on the Dean Blundell network, which is a blessing. And it's episode 117, and we are in the middle of Satan's fucking front porch. It is so hot here. It's unbelievable. Again, we are going through a wicked heat wave, and I know y'all up in Canada and stuff too are going through it. Oh, it's hot up here. I thought it's 90 degrees. We're just melting. That's fucking freezing here. It is currently on my thing right now on the thermometer. I wish I could just tilt it. It doesn't matter. You can take my word for it. It says 109. My phone said 110, so we're pretty close. That's why I am not up at the front of the bus tonight. I'm in the back bedroom where the best air conditioning is it's cold and it works awesome. And so I've got that cranked. I've got two fans blasting on me. I got my dog licking his arse in the background. Yeah, guys, I can't sit up at the front of the bus tonight. It is disgusting up there. It's disgusting. I'll take it. You know what? I love it. I love what I do. And I wouldn't change it for the world. And to be stuck in the back of the bus, it's huge back here. Who cares? I got tons of room. So huge bed right behind me. It looks like a 1970s, 80s porn studio. I was about to start an OnlyFans account, and they just announced that they're gonna pull the there's no more pulling your pud or girls having girl on girl or sexual connotation on it anymore. So OnlyFans pulled the plug on OnlyFans. Anyways, I was about to have a flourishing career on OnlyFans, and then they pulled the plug. Anyways, good thing is, old Bondzee got a nice little deal coming up, and we'll get into that a little later, maybe. Anyways, you know what it is? It's Bondzee Live. We are on the Dean Blundell network, and the special guest tonight is Gramps himself, Dean Blundell. Now, I know he was supposed to be on before, and we went through the shenanigans already, but Gramps promised me today on his show, which we killed it today. Go watch it. We COVID Central about the most amazing doctor. Dr. Mario was on, and the guy's a legend. If you have any questions, concerns, if you haven't been vaccinated, go do it. If you've been vaccinated and have questions of any kind, this doctor answers them all today on the podcast that we did. Anyways, it was a blast today. I love being on his show. And old Diener, Gramps Diener, is going to be on Bondzee show tonight. And I've got some questions for old Dean, and I'm not going to tiptoe through the tulips either. So buckle up. We've got a great show for you tonight. It's Bondzee Live, roasting his ass off in the desert, doing his show live from his bedroom with good old Tucker. This is the first time he's really been prominent on the show. Look at him. He's got everybody's going, oh, I just love Tucker. Nobody's even going to watch the show anymore. They're going to watch my dog. He is a legend, though. God, I love you, Tuck. You know what? I'll get into it. Let's do it right now and get it out of the way because I'm going to try my best not to cry. But 4 years ago today, sadly, was the day that my first dog, not my first dog, but my main dog, there he is, Willie. Willie passed away 4 years ago today. English Springer Spaniel. I hunted with this dog. I was a hunter for about 5 minutes. And anyways, that's his breed was amazing. The temperament's amazing. He was amazing with kids. When we got him, when he was 8 weeks old, and my youngest at the time was like 3, I think, old Brad. And anyways, Willie was an amazing dog. Lived to 14 years old. Passed away 4 years ago today. Rest in peace, Willie. I love you, buddy. Fuck, I love that dog. And Tucker loved him too. I didn't even tell Tucker today that it was the anniversary because I know they were best bros. Tucker tormented that shit out of Willie. We got Tucker 3 years later. And so the age difference, 3 years, 4 years almost. And yeah, poor Willie, when he was getting older, Tucker wouldn't stop bugging the poor bastard. And then now Tucker's old. He's 13 in 2 months. And now he hates other dogs. Not hates them, but he doesn't like the younger generation, if you will, that want to just play and frolic about. Tucker's bones and stuff hurts. He's old, And I look at him and I was like, well, look what you did to poor Willie. Karma's a bitch, bud. Even for dogs. Isn't it amazing how it all comes around full circle? And he's looking up, just staring at me. Look at you weapon. Yeah, he's the greatest. Look at you. What a champion. I couldn't imagine doing this trip without him. And he's 13. He's a smaller, younger dog. He's a good breed. I feed him well. And, we exercise every single day. We go for big old walks. Anyways, I hope he lives forever because I can't imagine my life without him. Oh, what else? Let's go. You know what? I love living here. It's been fantastic. The grind is real out here. But every single day it just keeps paying off. But I missed the show Monday. Sorry, not sorry kind of deal. But I took a Bondzee day, which I never do. But it's it feels nice. And I want to take, I'm begging for 2 or 3 days off in a row, maybe even a week coming up soon, maybe. Fingers crossed. The only thing about doing that is do you ruin the momentum? Like, I literally want to shut the computers down, shut the phone off, and do nothing but golf, run, and work out. And that's it. No posting, no blogs, no shows. I just want a week to Bondzee. And listen, not for 1 second am I complaining about my life because I absolutely love it. I just need a little break, and I think it's coming. Stay tuned. There's a lot of big things coming. Anyway, I missed all the shout outs tonight. Jeff Peters says you're a legend. Michael Thornton, thanks for joining. He says Blundell's podcast is hilarious. I listen to him all the time at work. Yeah, thanks for listening, and I love being a part of it. I've told the story where a year and a half ago I prayed to die. I literally went to bed and prayed to die. Like God or whatever, higher power, save a baby, save a kid. Take this. I was a fat, out of shape, broken down, dark plug who fucking hated himself. True story. And now I posted it today. I am thankful to be alive because God knows I told 3 stories of them on my last show. I should not be on this planet. And I'm thankful to be here, and I'm thankful that I haven't stepped that dark into the dark side because it's dried, believe me, and it's not a cool place to be in. Anyways, and now look at me. I don't pray to die anymore. I pray to live forever and ever. I pray that champion behind me lives forever. Me and him have so much more to accomplish and do. I feel like a brand new person. I started attending AA meetings. It's no secret. We talked about it on Dean's show today. And I since my first 2 meetings, I have broken or whatever, fallen off the wagon. I wrote the hardest blog I've ever written and about dying. And I didn't realize, even though I talked about it and we laughed about it last podcast or show, whatever you call us, writing it out and each an individual step, posting the pictures with it, I felt like I relived the whole goddamn moment, and it was really hard for me. And anyways, it took me 8 hours to write, and about halfway through, I broke down. I failed myself a little, which is okay. It's okay from what I'm told in the meetings from Dean and my friends who are also in AA, and I won't mention their names. It's AA for a reason. But they've helped me and understand. They're like, Bondzee, it took me 15, 20, 30 tries before it actually worked. And listen, I'm up to about 15 to 20. It's an odd and easy process, and I'm happy to talk about it and share my honest feelings. And it's hard. I really, really want to quit drinking. And I talked about it on Dean's pod today because he was throwing me some kudos, which is awesome. And he really has helped me, and we'll get into that in a bit. But when he's on. But listen, the hardest thing for me is me. You're gonna fail sometimes. You're gonna fuck up, and it's okay. That's what I need to understand. But I beat myself up incessantly. Like literally beat myself up. I want to fight myself in the mirror. I won't even look at myself. If I when I had that drink, I was so mad at me for having. Then it's Sunday when I posted the post, and it took all I could to write that thing. It took 24 hours from start of writing it to the end of writing it, and I failed. I drank only one bottle, but you know what? That's success in itself. And that's what I have to understand, because lo and behold, I could have drank 2 or 3 bottles that night. I was ready to go. I could have easily gotten an Uber, paraded down to the closest bar, which I'm not afraid to do and have done before, and got absolutely obliterated and smashed shots and be proud of myself for it because I accomplished something. You wrote that blog. Way to go, man. Another shot. Let's go. Fuck yeah. Now, 1 bottle, hiccup, yes. Was I upset with myself? Yes. Will it happen again? Most likely. I hope not. I work every day, and that's what my new motto is: one day at a time. I have a tattoo on my arm. It's from Gord Downey, and it says, "It's a good life if you don't weaken." And you know what? It's a pretty good life if you do weaken too. You just have to take it in moderation and don't beat yourself to death like I do. I'm a work in progress. I will be until the day I die. I have a problem. I am an alcoholic. I am Greg Bond. I'm an alcoholic. Hardest words I ever said on that first meeting. I joke about it. I've told myself 100 times, yeah, fat fuck alcoholic. It's funny. Hilarious. Say it to a group of strangers in a meeting. When those words ring through your own brain, go, holy shit. Hardest thing I ever did. It's truth. Hardest thing I ever did was go on that first appearance at AA and say, hi, I'm Greg Bond, and I'm an alcoholic. Yeah. Whew. I didn't see that coming. Give me one more second. A great show coming up for you tonight, like I said. Dean's coming on. Alcohol is a struggle, folks, and I'm struggling. Every day I wake up, and it's the first thing I think about is, fuck, I hope I don't want to drink when I wake up, but I just hope and pray that I don't end up calling Uber, calling the grocery delivery guy for a fucking bottle of wine, some seltzers, beer. It's hard. Fuck. Friday, Alex Kazam. You guys are going to love this guy. I love him to death. Wicked, amazing magician and mindfuck guy from Niagara Falls. Y'all are going to love him. I can't wait to have him on the show. The magic that this guy pulls off is absolutely incredible. I can't believe, you know what? So that's Friday. I also got some great guests coming up in September that I've got lined up, and I want to tell you, but I'm just trying to keep my brain going right now, you know. Jeremy Taggart from Our Lady, formerly of Our Lady Peace. Holly McKeon, a special friend of mine from a childhood, high school. She is a mother. She's an entrepreneur. She made this most amazing, incredible product, and I can't wait to have her on the show coming up soon. Yeah. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to roll to my notes because old Gramps made it to the show. There he is. There he is. Hi, Diener.
Oh,
dude.
I was sitting backstage watching you cry like a simp.
It's hard, dude. I didn't see that coming, you know, but you know, sometimes being honest and as real as I am is really hard. And it hits me hard sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's a tough fucking thing for people, right? Like when you want to make your life better and, you know, you got to cut something out that you've been doing for 30 years. Not easy.
Not easy at all. And there was a time, dude, where I was able to dial it back and not drink for a month or 2 or 3. And it was no problem. Not anymore. Yeah. And now it's a problem. And I can't just shut it off like I used to. And so here we are.
I got questions for you then. Never have I been a host or guest on this podcast. I'm really happy to have me. But I got questions for you. So what is it that makes you want to not drink anymore? Because drinking's drinking. I mean, you know, like people can. I know lots of people that drink. I was at a dinner party tonight with a family that you know, they were having drinks, and I obviously I don't drink because I quit drinking. But you know, when you're in this, and I know the answer because I went through it. Right? It's less about, for me, it's less about, you know, me saying I'm an alcoholic or I need to stop drinking and saying, hold it, I got to take what's between me and my mental and physical health, like the thing that's between me being successful in life, and I need to move it to the side. Right. And that's what I want to know about you. I mean, was it because you've kind of dabbled with it? We've talked about it. We've had great conversations about quality of life, not just drinking, right? Like we've had conversations about accountability. But what is it for you that said, I need to get help or I need to get the control of this area of my life?
It started years ago. It started when I got diagnosed with PTSD. And then not long after that diagnosis, I took off to England to go and surprise my parents. And part of that trip was for me, I lugged my clubs along and was going to go treat myself to a round at St. Andrews. We both have a passion for golf. And whilst on that trip, I got really sick. And I almost, you know, I looked at the trip as an entire waste of time. And I was so mad I didn't get to fulfill my time at St. Andrews, go play golf. And I ended up stuck in a hospital for 24 plus hours with my dad, who sat there the entire time. And anyway, in that time, dude, a doctor came to me and we had a serious conversation about how much I drink. And I was really sick and I didn't know what was going on. The doctors didn't know what was going on. And so I was honest about everything. And I was honest in front of my dad. Mm-hmm. And that conversation with that doctor in front of my dad was hard. Yeah. And it sounded wrong. And my dad is not a drinker. My mom and dad don't drink. So that first scared me. And the doctor said, if you continue the way you're drinking, son, you're going to have a fucking problem.
Is that why you're in the hospital? Because you drank too much?
No, it wasn't. I ended up having Legionnaire's disease, which I caught in the airport through the ventilation system. I have the worst luck in the world, but I also have a great life. So, but that's what it was. But I'll never forget that conversation and being honest about that was the first time I was honest about my drinking problem, especially in front of my father.
Right.
And I knew I had a problem.
How long ago was this?
That was 2017. sadly,
You really ground it out for another 4 fucking years. That's pretty impressive, dude.
Yeah, dude. What did I do next? I bought a bar in Nicaragua and lived on the ocean and was a raging fucking alcoholic and piss tank for 3 years while I still lived there and owned a bar and ran bars. Yeah. It was free alcohol, dude. It's the best decision ever when you're an alcoholic.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That's it. You want to get as close to it as you can, right? But you touched something earlier. So 4 years ago, you pull the old people know now. I got news for you. They all knew the whole time. But you know, then you grind it out for another 4 years, and you literally think about this. Like, I can see it in my head. You literally left everything behind so that you could go and be close to the excitement around that, right? Like, that's how I would.
Yeah, I did.
Is that why? Like, was it like, hey, listen, I need to get everybody away from me and my drinking and my fun because this is my life? Is that why you did it?
There was a plethora of reasons why I left to go to Nicaragua and bought the bar. I had been through that nasty divorce, as you know all about. Then I went through being engaged again and being cheated on 3 days after you put a ring on her finger, dude. That really hurt a lot. Yeah. You know, just how much can a guy take in so many years? And I was just beat up. And I was also, right before we broke up, I admitted to her that it was the first time that it was going through my brain. I was doing, I hate to admit this on my show because I try to keep this shit on your show, but I'll be honest. I was fucking doing a bunch of cocaine.
Yeah.
And I was drinking excessively with this lady. I think we were both masking each other's problems, and we were each other's crutch. And I finally realized that this is, and I admitted to her, I said, I have a problem. I didn't think I had a problem. I could shut off the cocaine whenever I wanted. That was never a problem. What I was starting to feel, and I was honest to her about, was I'm starting to feel really, really not well mentally. And I think it's from the train incident. And she looked at me and said, oh, shut up, Luther. And just fucking put your big boy pants on and forget about it. It was so long ago. And dude, I'll never forget that conversation to this day because, you know, it became real, and I've been to therapy for it. And that bitch kind of hurt me a lot. And so that's part of the reason I fucked off to Nicaragua and just disappeared from Ontario and went down there and did the stuff that I did. And I don't regret it. I did hold on to my house. I rented it out for a profit, but all the profit that I made from my house renting it out, it was paid my mortgage and it paid for me to live in Nicaragua. You know, and I used some ex-wife money to purchase the bar.
Boy. Boy. Listen, here's the thing is that here I have something, and I think that it's really difficult for a lot of people to understand, but what's brought you to this point has been perfect. Do you understand that? Like, do you get that? Like, you and I have these conversations and we're having one live in front of a whole bunch of people right now.
Yeah, it's okay.
But do you understand that all of these things are just life? Like, do you understand that today, or are you still trying to crawl out of your own perception of what you think you've become?
If I were to sit here and tell you I'm fixed and cured and I am ready to go, I would be lying to you.
Yeah, but no. What I'm asking you is this: is do you believe that these things have all happened for a reason?
100%. 100%. And it all stems back. And you asked me at the very beginning of this conversation, part of why do I want to quit drinking now and stuff. And the main answer of it all, 12 plus years ago, I was told by a psychic, and I never like to believe in these things, but this lady didn't know me from a hole in the ground. I did not partake in my ex-wife and kids' soiree with them. I was 100 meters away. I was frolicking around, probably looking for a drink somewhere. And then when I came back to grab them after they were done, she came up to me and pulled me aside and said, "Sir, when you decide to quit drinking and do drugs, something big is happening for you. And I really see promising things for you in the future.
Mm-hmm.
That was 12 years ago.
Wow.
And I quit drinking for 4 months before I came on this journey. Quitting drinking got me on this journey, which I'm thankful for. It got me on your network, which allowed me to open up and be a whole brand new person.
Mm-hmm.
I know I struggle with my writing and grammar and stuff, but the fact that I throw that shit out there, I know it's not grammatically awesome.
Yeah.
Trust me.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Inside joke. But I've really opened up, and you've given me that platform, dude. And whether you know it or not, you have helped me tenfold to not only give me this platform to be Bondzee, and you've let me be me. And I know I annoy the shit out of you sometimes, but you've allowed me to do this. You've allowed me to grow. You've given me advice. You've never fucking thrown anything down my throat and said, Bondzee, do this, do this, do this. You've said, here, Bondzee, I offer you this advice. The books, the going to the AA. And listen, dude, every time I quit drinking for a longer spell, the better the things happen for me.
Mm-hmm.
And proof is in the pudding.
Stuff, right? I think, you have to go backwards, and I don't think people like you understand the mania that you love to live in. Like, you've been living, and I've known you for a while, right? But you've been living this manic lifestyle, looking for something to fill this thing inside yourself that makes you feel restless, irritable, and discontent.
Yep.
And the issue that a lot of people have when it comes to mental health is there's a breaking point for a lot of people in their late 30s, early 40s, where, you've had 40 years of cognitive therapy. You've had 40 years of doing whatever you want. You've had 40 years of good experiences and bad experiences. And so one day you wake up and you're not happy. And you're like, and I'm sure you've asked yourself this question: how the fuck did I get here? Like, how did it get this bad? How did my relationship with my kids deteriorate the way it has? How am I divorced? How am I getting divorced? How am I broke? How am I this? How am I that? What happened? And you said something earlier in this conversation, which a lot of people who, when they go down the road of trying to figure out whether or not they have something that needs to be worked on, is you said, there's only so much a dude can handle, right? That's for guys like me who have had the fortunate opportunity to be able to, get sober or stop drinking and get into a life philosophy and talk about, words and deeds matching. That's where a guy like me goes, I got you. I got you because I understand that. What you do with alcohol is placate yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, alcohol and it's easy, it's free. We're told to do it in television commercials. I don't have a problem with anybody doing it. I don't fucking care about booze. But when it comes to coping mechanisms that you have, according to the cognitive life that you've led, that is like the one thing that everybody tells everybody to do is go have a fucking drink, right? And that's fine for people that can have a drink. So when you're in a fucking state of confusion and you're sad and you're miserable and you're pissed off and you don't know how you got to this point and you feel like an imposter in your own life because you're hiding shit from people who don't think they know that you're fucking struggling, you're crazy, right?
Yeah.
And really, honest to God, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, when I think about the issues that people have, which are my issues, which are all the same fucking issues. We all have the same issues at this stage of our life. And the issues are wondering where everything went and why it went the way it did. And then you start getting resentful. And after you start getting resentful, you start fighting. And then you start telling everybody you're a fucking victim, right? And the really fucking incredible part of life is ownership of life. It's not going through it getting shit. It's not going through it to say, I've achieved this, or I've made this much money, or I drive these cars. I've had all of it, dude. I've had
Yeah.
all of it. I've made millions. I've had cars and cottages and boats and fucking trips, and my kids had the best of everything. Zero made me happy, because once you get it, it's fucking gone, and you continue to try and fill that void, and then you turn to alcohol because you're like, fuck, the shit that I tried to get for me, that this life and this world told me I needed to get to be happy, didn't exist. There's no happiness there, because once I got it, the fucking happiness is gone.
Yeah.
And and so when you're in that position where you feel like a victim and you feel like, you know, nothing in your life makes you happy, that's to me when someone like you, and I know you, so I can say this, that's to me is when someone like you says something's wrong. I don't feel good. Things aren't working out for me.
Yeah.
And where guys like you now will say, I need to invest in myself. I got to figure out what's bugging me. I got to get healthy. I've got kids. I've got friends. I'm a useful individual. I need to contribute to the greater good. That's when things change. It's literally, honest to God, when you get to that point where you go, hold it, I've been fucking doing everything wrong for a very long period of time. And that desire to get out of that space and into change, when that overtakes your desire to stay the same and think that you got it fucking nailed and you got it right, that's when you get better. And there's no other solution. Like, listen to the fucking thing, Greg. There's so many people out there that, like, I read this thing the other day. There's this drug they came up with in South America that literally prevents you from drinking, right? So when you drink, you take this drug, and if you feel like you take it every day, and if you take a drink, you'll vomit violently.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, what a fucking joke. Like, how are you teaching people how to live? Like, live, dude. We lived dead for so long, and there are people out there that, and it's not the booze. Like, fuck the booze. I know you're in a journey, and and it's fucking really important, because you need to get this out of your way so you can deal with you. But this is about putting things in your life, putting things in your day, putting things in your way that are good for you, man.
Yeah.
They're good for you, and they help you. It's about learning. It's about reading. It's about educating, empowering yourself. It's about not judging people for the issues that they go through, and living your best life. Like, fuck, dude, there are two black dots in my life, one at the beginning and one at the end, and there's a whole bunch of playground in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't feel like wasting that time. And I did for a long period of time. And the other thing is, dude, it like, fuck, how often do people walk around in ignorance, not even fucking knowing how to deal with what you're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
And you have two choices. You can do the work to be a better human being. You can do the work to be happy, and that's literally all it takes is the work. But that one word seems to scare the fuck out of everybody, doesn't it? Work.
But it's the hardest thing in the world, and whether we like it or not, or want to admit it, you know, there's a plethora of other. It doesn't matter if it's alcohol, Dean, if it's food, if it's anything, work, to anything, to get to where I am today on your show, to get this commercial deal. I started voice acting a year and a half ago when I was locked in my parents' basement and prayed to die, and also started voice acting at the same time. Now I'm flourishing in the voice acting. Pray to live till 100, because I got so much more shit to do and people to entertain, you know. And it's funny how things change, but this didn't come easy, Dean. It wasn't like somebody said, here you go, Bondzee, all of a sudden you're going to be better and fine and stuff. It takes work, and the work is the hardest part. It is.
Well,
and I'm doing it, bro.
And that's why I love you. You know, that's why I'm proud of you for lots of reasons. I mean, to step outside yourself and do something that's different or hard or difficult. You know, fuck, dude. I almost don't even know where to start, because
and do it all fucked up too.
yeah.
You know, let's not kid a kidder. You know, I did this. When I started, I was sober. When I got here, it didn't take long to hit the booze, dude, because I was scared. I was nervous. I was like, holy shit, what did you do? You know, all of those things.
Did you ever hear the story
I made a mistake in bringing somebody that didn't work out, and that played a big part in my starting to drink. But ultimately, I am the boss and I'm in charge of myself. So, and I'm sad that it took 3+ months to figure out on the road that I really fucking still had a problem and I wasn't dealing with it properly. You know, I tried to do it in Texas. I really tried. It took me to New Mexico, Colorado. There was spurts, so I was great. And then there was spurts where I'd fail miserably and got wasted. You know, and the videos are evident, you know. So anyways, I'm proud of how far I've come. And now I really am locked in. My kids have been a huge help. Having Brad on that trip, that's where it all started and coincided between you and him, and just me myself too. I will give myself a bit of credit. That's where it all started. It just came to an apex of the three of us, really, and knowing that I needed to be better, because if I continued to be a fucking piss tank whilst doing this ain't gonna work, and it ain't gonna last long. And I'll be back fucking slinging burgers at Burger King in Ontario, and I would be back to swinging want to swing on a rope, you know.
Maybe, and that might be the case. I mean, you might be back in Ontario swinging burgers. This whole trip might blow up. Something terrible might happen, because that's just life, you know. And I think that is the biggest difference between me 5 years ago and me today, is that, you know, I'm a practicing stoic, so I focus on, you know, a really fucking unmanageable world, in my response to the things that happen. And I used to find, and I could be, I might be different, but like I used to wait for things to go wrong, and it would trigger this thing in my head, like, you need a drink then, you know, or there would be a celebration of sorts, and I'd be like, let's have a drink. Like, you really don't need, if you have a problem with drinking, or if you've got a problem literally with self-esteem, you really don't need to hit yourself in the head with a bottle to give yourself another fucking problem. But we do, right? Like, the first thing you think of is, how can I hurt myself when you get into a tight pinch if you are a drinker? Like, how many times have you done that? Like, you know, your girlfriend cheated on you, or your ex-fiance cheated on you. That was like a green light in your brain, probably, to get as fucked up as possible. And make yourself feel like absolute dog shit for at least a week. And everybody had to understand, Bondzee's going through a tough time. Dean's going through, let him drink, let him do his thing. And you are literally not dealing with any of it. None of it. And then the resentment builds up, and then you haven't dealt with what happened, and then you drink more, and then you do some coke, and then you're like, fuck yeah,
you keep masking it.
Middle of fucking America, and I am in a mess, like a mess. And listen, it was perfect. What happened to you was perfect. But I've had a lot of time to think about it. A lot of time to think about it. And while other people might think I'm crazy, I think I've nailed why people turn into alcoholics. I think I have. And it's really fucking simple, because we're scared.
Yeah.
We're walking scared people. And we don't want people to know we're scared. So we develop this thing called the duplicitous personality, where that scared guy is in there, and you know it's in there, and you deal with it in the dark and on your own. And when you go out, you want to hide that guy from everybody, because you know that's who you are legitimately inside. And so you get as drunk as you fucking can, because you don't want to be in the reality of knowing that you're a scared little fuck.
Yeah. Reality sucks.
Yes. Yeah. And so
I know
you develop this thing. It's like a multiple personality thing, where what you present to people is this thing that you don't want them to see. It's like a fucking, well, it is a front. And duplicity means fraud. So you're trying to square this scared little guy with this person you're trying to show people, and it doesn't make any sense. And so how do you cope? You drink. And does it get better? Never. It just never fucking gets better. I've never met anybody that's been down that fucking miserable road of addiction, whether it's alcohol, drugs, whatever, fuck, video games, food. It's all there. I mean, it's all there. Everybody's got something, right?
Yeah, we do.
our thing is just booze, and yours is booze, coke, heroin, meth.
Hey, whoa.
Yeah,
I have done coke. I haven't done any of the other stuff. No heroin, no meth, no nothing.
Love dog porn. No, but like everybody's got something, and that's the embarrassing part, is that, you know, everybody's been told that you're a fucking issue if you're an alcoholic. You're a fucking issue if you're a drug addict. You're an issue. No, you're not. No, you're not. You just fucking really stuck with it. Like you stuck with this stupid fucking thing that you decided helped you. And listen, it does. Alcohol in the moment helps you until it stops helping you, right?
That's what
stops helping you. Yeah.
That's why that's for me, Dean. You just nailed it. When I start drinking in the morning, say it's a bad day, and I start drinking in the morning, and I fucking feel great the rest of the day. It's like, whoop, whoop, like right on.
Yeah.
All the problems are solved. Fuck it. We'll deal with it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow shows up and there's no more booze left on the bus. And guess what? Whammo! You know? Holy shit. Fuck, I got to deal with my shit. My own shit. Life. Reality.
Mm-hmm.
And me included, it's terrifying. You're not kidding. And you nailed it, dude. You nailed it.
I know.
It's I know.
I know.
For me, and it's an A thing.
That comes with, by the way, me nailing that comes with some fucking heavy shit.
Fucking up. Yeah.
Right? It comes with me having to tell the truth all the time. It comes with me making sure I do what I got to do in the morning, which is I get up, I go for a walk. Do you want to know my routine, Bondzee? I'll take you through my fucking routine. This is my routine. I get up at about 5 o'clock in the morning. I come downstairs. I make a coffee. I check a couple of things on the site, see if anything fucking blew up last night. And then I go for a walk.
Fucked up.
Yeah, I go for a walk for an hour and a half. And I listen to some fucking deep shit. I listen to neuroscience podcasts. I listen to stoicism podcasts, like the Practical Stoic, the Daily Stoic with Ryan Holiday, because I'm a practicing Stoic. I want to learn how to manage my response to the world. Then I come home and I have 2 glasses of water, and I take my vitamins, and then I go upstairs and I shower. And then I come downstairs and I read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, or I do my daily Stoic meditation, which isn't meditating at all. It's just fucking saying, this is what I want to do today. What I want to do is I want to practice kindness. I want to practice selflessness. And I set that intention. I want to be selfless. And then the rest of the day as I'm working, I audit my behavior as I go. You know how fucking hard that is to audit your behavior as you go? Like, I'm having conversations. Case in point, today I go to my ex-wife's house to pick up the boys, and I'm not a confrontational guy. She comes out of the house. She's blazing. I got my kids with me, and she wants to change all the plans that we had for the day. My son had a baseball game. Other kid had to go mix his record. He just put out an album. So long story short, I changed my plans. And I decided that was okay because my kids need to see someone live it, not just talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's how I think now. I don't think in terms of fuck you, I want what I want. I think in terms of no. How can I help? Where can I fit in? And how can I be of service? And how can I show my kids and my family that I love them? And if my plans change and I can show them that with something so stupid like, oh, tonight you're not going to a baseball game, you're going to drive your other son to go mix his record. And that just means I get to spend time with my son. I never thought like that before. I never had to audit my behavior before or situations on the fly. And if you're not sober, you can't fucking think that deep.
Do
it. You can't.
And that's amazing that you've been able to make that change, dude, because, you know, back in the day, and we know your career on radio, you were, we've had a very heavy talk. This kind of, I knew it wasn't, I have a million notes and questions for you. We haven't touched on one of them because, and I don't regret it for 1 second. We've had an amazing conversation.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But this leads, what you just said leads into back in the day. You've changed so much, dude, from the guy that I listened to and everybody listened to, quite frankly, from 20 years ago to 15 to 10 to 5. Now you are 100% different person than Dean Blundell from that 5, 10, 15 years ago. 100%, right?
I don't know, man. It's it's a great question. Thank you for that question, Greg. I'll be happy to answer it. That's a great question. I don't think
Greg.
my perspective's changed. I used to, dude, radio was wonderful to me. And I'm kind of the last dog that was in the golden age of, when radio was it. Like you couldn't.
I agree with that statement wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and I bought into it. I bought into what I was. I built my entire self-worth and my foundation on a really fucking healthy T4 slip, a big bank account, shit things, keeping up with the Joneses, girls, booze, and entitlement. And I could have that because that's how people looked at me. We were incredibly successful at what we did. I thought
you really were.
I thought I was owed. I thought I was owed everybody's respect. I thought I had arrived. I had arrived. Look at me.
But
and now
and
this question without reservation. I can tell you this.
If I may,
what's that?
You earned that though, Dean. You showed up in Toronto. I fucking and it's stuck in my head. You show up in Toronto. You were on radio briefly, I believe, in Alberta, and then went to Windsor. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And markets, you were doing good, and then you're in Windsor, and all of a sudden, whammo, Toronto comes a calling, and that's where you obviously you're no dummy. You knew that's the number one market. It's where you need to be for the do re mi and the everything that comes with it. And you were that guy, dude. You showed up in Toronto. Derringer, I think, was on cue at the time and was killing it. I can't remember. It was Humble and Fred. You came in and replaced them, correct?
Right.
And dude, it didn't take long for your old Dean Blundell to get himself known in shit, but a massive following all in within 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that must have felt pretty awesome.
It did,
for one, and it does boost your ego and make you feel like everything that you just mentioned. You are owed shit. Mm-hmm. You did earn that fucking spect, because you showed up and were the guy. And dude, you were literally the Howard Stern of Canada. Yeah, for lack of a better comparison. But you got labeled pretty early in your career as a shock jock.
Yeah,
and you killed it.
Loved it. I and all of what you said is true.
And everybody loved it, not just you, dude. Yeah. I was a massive fan. Everybody was a huge fan. I
appreciate that, and it was awesome in its time. Like
it was.
I don't think about that time of my life that much anymore. I think sometimes when I think about that version of me, I'd like to go back and slap myself in the face and say, "Hey, fuck, you're gonna go through some tough shit." And this is not how to get ready for it.
Yeah.
But,
if we all had a crystal ball, you can't. Do you look back and regret what you did, Dean, over those 15 killer years on the edge?
Not at all. Not at all. It was perfect. Everything that happened in my life to this point is perfect. Everything that has taken in this place has been perfect. And this is the thing, like you think back to the things that you did and you think back to the person that you were when you were 28 and I'm 48 now. So that's 20 years ago that I started at the edge. And I'm really proud of the numbers we generated. I'm proud of the longevity we had. I'm really proud of the effort that I put in to always grind because I did work my balls off. Things I'm not proud of, not listening to people who were having a tough time. Thinking I was more important than anybody else that did that job, putting myself ahead of other people, not showing people servant leadership, not loving people through their tough times, dividing groups of people, shitting on people like that didn't deserve to have their existence be minimized. Those are the things I look back on and I go, yeah, that's immaturity, right? Like that's just context of its time. It's immaturity. But no, I was I'm very, very fucking fortunate to have had the career that I've had, specifically on the radio, and to do it at that kind of high level. Like, you know, there's one thing, and I will say this, and it's hard to believe now, but radio is rated in ratings points, right? Like share points.
Yeah.
And in our demographic, which is the people that listen to us, we're between the ages of 18 to 49. And they were mostly men. And so that was a demo that they told us to go after, men between the ages of 40.
Of course.
Now, you're lucky if you were on the radio doing a morning show or an afternoon drive show. You're super fucking lucky if you got like a 6 share or a 5 share or a 7 share. It was unheard of.
Yeah.
Men 18 to 49, we had a 40 share. 40 of the greater Toronto area. If you were a man,
that's wild. Dude. I mean,
but hold it. That was wonderful. But what did I do with it? Right? Like, did I make anybody's life better along the way? Sometimes. But who was I doing this for, and why was I fucking doing that job? And I did that job because that scared little fucking boy had to prove to everybody who his dad was fucking rough with when he was a kid that he was the guy. I had to show everybody I was important, because I never felt important growing up. Never ever did. I always felt like I was a fraud. Then that's why I was scared. And so everything, and I think back to it now, all that was a front almost. Like, it was like this thing I was trying to show people, and I used to love it. I used to know it technically in my head. I get in that studio and I can be that person that I want people to see.
Yes.
For 4 fucking hours. And then I have to deal with the rest of it for the next 20. No problem. They pay me $1 million a year to do it. Easy to do for $1 million a year. I can be anybody.
Sure.
I can do anything anybody wants for that kind of money. But I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, when it's yanked out from underneath you, and I got fired from the Edge for doing great content, by the way, excellent content. When I got fired from the Edge, I had no idea who I was. None. So then I went and worked at the Fan, and that literally felt like getting my fucking teeth pulled every day.
Was that terrifying?
The worst. It was the worst.
So why did you accept the job? I mean, money. I was thrilled you did.
Money.
Yeah. Well, dude, and listen, and maybe I'm biased, but I didn't and I've listened to the Fan since I was a teenager, and I really didn't think that. I never once listened to your show and went, this format. You've always, no matter what you've done, and I've listened to you on the Edge forever. You were hilarious, and then you went to the sports thing. You brought Dean Blundell. I thought it was a pretty good, because some of these sports guys are drier than fucking burnt toast. You know what I mean? And you brought characteristic to it and a whole new thing. But so why was it so terrifying for you? Just because
it wasn't terrifying.
You had to talk for 4 hours a day instead of play tunes for the majority of it, or what?
No, I was game for that. It was. You know, 2 things. I wasn't healthy. You know, I was still, and I wasn't, like, when I say I was an alcoholic or I was drinking a lot, I never drank during the week when I was working. And if I wasn't working, I came on. But but I wasn't healthy. I hadn't dealt with, I was walking around with PTSD, had no idea, was diagnosed after I left the Fan. I was walking around with first episode depression, had no idea. But that was part of the process, right? Like, when I left the Fan, I was like, fuck this, I'm going to start a blog. So I start this blog, and I'm drinking the entire way through it, having a fucking vodka soda at like 11 o'clock and blogging on back by the pool in the cabana, thinking I got it made. And I'm fucking miserable because all that shit that I did never got dealt with. Not once. I just went from one fucking shitty situation to another. And if you've been in radio, and you have, you know, there's not a premium on the mental health of people who work in radio.
No.
Like, you're treated as a fucking asset. Sorry, go ahead.
But didn't you look at it in a way when you went home? Weren't you so goddamn proud of what you had accomplished, coming from Alberta to Windsor to Toronto? You made it. You were making millions. You were a huge deal right away. Dude, you caused a ruckus in your first 6 months on radio. You got fined, you know. the C whatever the C, I want to say CRTC, but it's
CBSC.
thank you, CSBC. They came at you hard, dude, right away. 6 months in. Was that? Did you just love that, or were you like, oh shit, I better? Obviously, I know the answer to this. You didn't slow down.
No, it was funny because they would tell us to.
That must have been fuel to your fire.
Well, it was like they would tell you can't do this and you can't do that, and I would always pay.
Oh, yes, I can.
Lip service. Go, no problem. And then I would go and do it the next day, but I do it differently so that they wouldn't have anything to be upset about. But again, that's fucking immaturity, right? Like that's just a guy saying, "Go fuck yourself. I'll do it." But I did know more about what I needed to get done, and if I wanted to be successful, than any boss I've ever worked for at the time. But what I didn't know is that it could come to an end, Greg.
Yeah. All boom.
Yeah, and so when you think about that and you go back and you look at the history of my job and the history of there's a natural beginning and an end to everything, right? There's a beginning and an end to life. There's a beginning and an end to every job. Like the only thing we're guaranteed in this world is change. That's it. And so not embrace that change, which I didn't, and then to fucking feel like a victim, which I did, and then not be allowed to talk about it, which I wasn't because I signed NDAs and they gave me a bunch of money just to shut the fuck up. It was like I felt like I was bottled up. I felt like I had been fucking labeled a homophobe by the company that fired me, which I was. They hired this company called High Road Communications in, and it was funny because I had a conversation with the old president of Chorus a while after fired, and he's like, dude, we railroaded you on purpose because we knew you'd kill us if you went somewhere else. They paid a company called High Road Communications. This is a true story to label me as a homophobe in the news so that they wouldn't have to pay the extent of my contract and they could fire me with cause. And so they could ruin my reputation. So if and when I got on the radio again, my reputation will be damaged, or it might deter other people. This is what he said to me. We were trying to get you removed from radio in Canada.
Wow.
We want to paint you as a homophobe. And they did a great job. Like, if you listen to our show, you know that I'm not. You know that I was never homophobic.
Of course. But you still did get hired by the fans, so that must have been satisfying to you in that aspect. Was it a big kind of a fu to them, going, well, I still got another job, or were they still coming after you?
No, they didn't. No, when I left and we signed NDAs, it was like this agreement to say I'm not going to talk and you're not going to talk, and
right,
fuck off and I'll fuck off. And
all right,
but you know what? I hold no. That's the thing, is that like I'm glad they did it. Now I look back on it and I'm like, I'm so fucking happy that I got fired from the Edge. I am so fucking happy that I went through those experiences, because I was looking at their digital numbers. We do like 1.5 million users a month at deanblundell.com. They do 50,000. 50,000. And their radio stations I feel bad for the people working there because I know they're doing their best, but the radio station's basically non-existent. Radio itself is like fucking 8 tracks to me now.
Yeah, right.
Like, dude, you and I can do this.
So would you, if and maybe it's a stupid question because money always talks, but if the number was there, would you ever go back to terrestrial radio, or have you so fucking had it with that no number really matters because of the effect that it would have on your happiness?
I don't look at it like that. I look at everything, whether it's radio or TV, and I've had lots of opportunities to go back, and really nice ones, and good people that have said, hey, we like the content that you're doing now, and we'd love for you to come and do radio. And the answer is always the same for me, is I'm not doing just radio, and I want to bring what I'm doing to a company, and we're having conversations with some radio companies now about that. But if I could do, and this is what is probably going to happen, is, the show that I do now mixed up a little bit with the guys that I do it with. There's interest to put that on terrestrial radio in some capacity on delay. And if that's a possibility, I'll do it. But no, fuck, dude. If someone said to me, "Hey, we just want you to come and do a morning show, just want you to do an afternoon drive, leave all the digital, leave 1.5 million digital users over there. Don't worry about them. We're not
Yeah,
interested." Dude,
band.
I started this because I got a chance to actually fucking talk to people. I got a chance
Yeah.
to make a difference. I get a chance to do content that they are fucking deathly afraid of on terrestrial radio because of
Yeah.
this
Because
woke
they're so censored.
bingo.
Yeah.
And so the one thing that the radio stations love is their license, right? And they're so tied into this garbage organization called the CRTC that they're deathly afraid of them. They're all run by a bunch of fucking losers. So in my estimation is that, and listen, I try to work on my humility, but we're too big for radio. Like we can't.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Take 70 podcasts and hardworking individuals and say to them, "Listen, radio station wants me to go and do this antiquated fucking work in this stupid fucking signal, and so all of you guys are out of work. No one has a place to live." That's not me, man. I didn't create this. I was desperate. I created this because it's an answer. This is an answer for everybody that doesn't think the fucking world we live in and the content we create is good enough for, because it's not. Like, fuck, have you listen to the radio?
Yeah.
When?
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you.
My kids, I turned on the radio the other day. My kids are like, literally, what is this?
Yeah. It's foreign to them. It's so weird.
15-year-old said, "Dad, you used to be on the radio. Was that like cheesy?"
Hilarious. I always thought when my kids would always look up to me and go, "Oh, wow, my dad's so cool. He was on radio." They're like, fuck, wait, what radio? What the hell's that? You know, now that they're old enough, they're your son's age. So yeah, hilarious. So dude, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, because fuck, I didn't want to bring it up, but I have to.
Go ahead.
Because I've been asked 100 times to ask it. Will you talk about Todd and what happened? Because you guys had an amazing relationship. It worked. And I guess it's a two-part question. I want to know why and how it worked so well for so long. But then everybody wants to know what the fuck happened.
Ego.
So can you talk about that? And
yeah. Simple.
I mean, look at this picture. Like, look at those two young bucks. Stallions.
Yeah. That was the top choice award for best radio program.
Well, dude, you guys were. You were, and you guys were. You two peas in a pod.
Yeah.
He was, and not to be rude to Todd, but he was your Muppet. He literally did and said what you wanted to do, and he was great at it. And it built his career, and he shouldn't be upset over that. You guys just gelled together, and Todd was that guy that was willing to do that stuff. So it worked.
Yeah.
But after so long, I guess, nothing's ever perfect. What happened, dude?
But a lot happened. I think it's best summed up as ego. Ego is a killer, man. And we both had egos,
for sure.
He had an ego. I had an ego. I chose to take offense to the way he operated in the end. He took offense to the way I operated in the end. And it was all about, it was just selfish. I was selfish. I would say, and he would have, I haven't talked to Todd in years. And I would be happy to talk to him. I think he owns a mushroom company or something like that now.
He does.
And I'm really happy for him. Like, he's got a wife. I think he's got a kid or one on the way, or two kids.
Two kids. Yeah.
And I'm really, really happy for him. Dude, I wouldn't have what I have now if it wasn't for him and Jason, who we work with.
For sure. Jason Barr.
But life changes. People become different. The pressure involved in doing a daily radio show for 4 hours a day in the biggest market in Canada and one of the biggest in the world, and to stay in the place that we tried to stay. We worked hard for it, but we also I think developed these shitty fucking attitudes. I know I did. That everyone had to kowtow to the way I wanted things done.
Yeah.
And we got in a mass fight one morning, and it was over like literally $750 for a TV show that was they were going to film a TV show around the morning show, and they just started filming, and Todd refused to do it unless he got like $750 because he thought that I got $750. It was the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
What?
Yeah, and instead of me, quietly explaining to him, I lost my fucking mind in the green room. And he didn't come back to work the next day and refused to come back to work till I apologized. And they came up to me and said, "You want us to fucking fire him because his contract's up and we won't have to pay him out?" And I'm like, "Go ahead." So, and I regret that. That's one of the things I regret because I know it affected him greatly.
Yeah.
And I can say that now because I'm fucking years removed from it. But having said that, like I said before, my life is so much better because he was in it. You know what I mean? My life is better because he was in it. Relationships change over time. I think the world of what we created and what we created together. But it's just fucking like, dude, the one thing that changes all the time is change.
$750 ruins an amazing career that you guys have. Kind of blows my mind. And DaCosta says, that's lame. And it really is. So, and obviously, Dean, you and I are no dummies. When you're with somebody for so long, I think obviously it came to, and you hinted or talked about it leading up when answering the question was, I think the egos, the everything, I think it was more than 750, at the end of the day. I think, all good things come to an end. And Todd wanted I think because you were the star of the show, it was Dean Blundell. And maybe it was just Todd's time to, dude, to this day, it sucks that that's the story. It's kind of mind numbing actually, but
yeah, I know, right?
And the fact that you guys don't even speak to this day is kind of upsetting to me as a fan back in the day, and the other people for sure. So, and I will ask this, during your time of sobriety in the 4 years and stuff, in the 12-step with AA and stuff, how come you haven't had a conversation with Todd?
Oh, we have. I just haven't talked to him in the last 4 or 5 years. We've gone for,
which is since you've been sober though, dude. So
since I've been sober, no, it's just, it's because this has been my focus. Like, my focus has been investing in me. My focus has been learning about how to drop my ego. One of the fucking best books I've ever read. I sent it to you. I know that you've listened to it. It's called Ego is the Enemy.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine sent it to me. And I was pissed off when he sent it to me. I'm like, "What the fuck? Who do you think you are?" Tell me. He's like, "Just read it."
Right.
And it's a few years ago. And it's a book by Ryan Holiday. He's got a trilogy of books that talk about it. That was kind of why I got into Stoicism. It talked about, literally ego being death. Like nothing ever good comes from ego. And if you listened earlier in the conversation where I talked about how important I was, or I thought I was, to the process, it was all ego. It was all fake. It was all, fucking not sustainable. And none of that. The ego is not sustainable. It's like, how many times have you said, "Yeah, I'm going to go to this and I'm going to crush this. I'm going to fucking shoot 72. I'm going to, I'm going to do this incredible thing. Watch me." That's all fucking ego, or I used to say all the time, "I'm the best radio guy who ever turned on a microphone." It's not true. That's not true. I just worked as hard as I fucking
pretty close though.
Well, to put myself in a position to be like, ego has absolutely nothing to do with success ever. It's the opposite. It is the first thing that fucking goes. It's the second your ego starts to make decisions, and the second you start thinking that you're above doing the work of being a fucking good human being, you're done, dude.
Dean, would you change anything looking back and having that crystal ball and changing the career you had and what you did? I mean, you have to have that ego. You have to have that umph in you, and to be the top guy, to continue to make the millions and be that guy. No, it's got to be somebody,
Bondzee, why?
But
why do you have to be that guy to make the millions? And what do you do with the millions when it's got, I have money. I had the most miserable I ever was when I was at my zenith, when people were bringing me coffee in the morning and they were scared to put it down because they were afraid it was going to make a noise. I liked that. I liked having people fear me. And what did it get me? It got me fucking lonely and miserable. Like, like you cannot equate. There's just, I'm going to explain something to you real quick. There's something called the hedonic treadmill, right? It's this effect, and it's based in hedonism. Hedonism is a philosophy where you can go out and get whatever you want anytime you want. It's all about you, right? Go out and fill your boots with all the excess and all the shit that you want. People really do live like that, and they believe that's the best way to live. It isn't. But all I did was ride that fucking treadmill over and over and again. Get more ratings. Okay, I got the ratings now. That means bigger paycheck. Okay, now I got a bigger paycheck. That means you can buy another Mercedes. Go ahead and buy the Mercedes. Buy a cottage. Get a boat. That means you can go on vacations. That means you can bully your way through the health system. That means you can. I mean, it is fucking incredible. The external valuation I put on things that didn't matter, right? And if you have an ego and you work hard to get those things, when you get them, only one thing will happen. It's over. You got it. Then what? Then you're still sad, and you're still that hurt little dick that walks around trying to convince everybody you're something you're not. You make these stupid fucking definitive statements about how great you are, or fuck that, I'm gonna wreck that guy, I'm gonna end that guy's career. Like the shit eating I've had to do over the past 4 years, because I've run into all these guys like Jay Michael from Mad Dog. If you know who Mad Dog is, I was merciless about him because I hated competition and I wanted people to fear me. I talk to him a lot now, and he's a wonderful guy. And I'm like, and I've had to apologize to like 400 people over the past year. It's called making amends, and it sucks, man.
Yeah,
it sucks going back and going, fuck, I thought I had it figured out, and I was a total prick about the whole thing. And I'm sorry. And when you get to the point where, like, and there's lots of people that I've apologized to where they're like, I don't forgive you. And I'm like, I did my best. But it fucking, for the first year, when you're making amends and living amends, you're like, I got to fucking make this right. I got to make that right. And that, and that in itself has been worth the price of admission.
Does it? Yeah, it must feel super to, I know it's hard to say sorry to 100 plus people, but when you do it, and it's like going running. Like, I didn't want to go run 5K before the show today, but old Tubby needs to drop pounds, and it's something you do. But when you do it, it feels fucking awesome, right? So that must have felt pretty good to make amends after all that. That's stress up here. It's stress in your heart, to get that off your body, dude. You've made leaps and bounds. How awesome is it? And be honest, you were 20 years, 15 years on the edge, the fan, and then poof, you admitted earlier that the carpet was pulled out from under you, dude. You struggled. Excuse me. But one day, take us through how this all happened and where you're at now, dude. You DeanBlundell.com, the Dean Blundell Network is. It went from this. I think I saw a video where you said I think 3 or 4 people were watching, and it was the first time you talked into a microphone in forever. And now, dude, Monday to Friday, people cannot wait for 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to see DeanBlundell.com with James DeFiore, with Lachlan Cross, and proudly myself once a week or sometimes twice. Dude, it's mind-numbing how far you've come. How amazing does it feel?
How amazing does it feel? I'm grateful. I think that's the only way to describe it. Is I'm so grateful that people want to work with me after all that. Like, I'm so grateful that I'm thankful people trust me with their content. I'm thankful people believe in our vision of, giving people a place to do content and having that content be independent and fact-based and not biased. I'm grateful that we've got 70 podcasts in our network now. We started with one. I'm grateful that Sound Off Communications or Sound Off Media is part of what we do, and we're part of what they do. We'll announce a new partnership with a company called SoCast in the next couple of days. I'm grateful for that. Those people want to work with us, and they believe in our vision of improving media for people in this country. Because this isn't just a blog, I don't think anymore. I think this is more
I
about an
agree.
idea, and I think it's
It's
about building a community. So I'm
it
just
is
great.
a community. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's a family, dude. And you laugh, but I mean, even the people watching, the comments that are coming through for they're all family, dude. And I feel part of it. And what's funny is it took me to sell my house. I don't know if you know this, but you had a Blue Microphone, which sponsors your show. Great company, by the way. They had a contest through them to be part of your Dean Blundell network. I had just started podcasting outside of this show. I sent him what I thought was a stunner, and it never got a sniff. And then it took me to sell my house and all my belongings and text you and go, Dean, Crazy Nuts here sold his house and everything he owns and bought a 45-foot bus. Are you in? And you're like, no, I'm in, son.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, and that's I love this. Like, I love the fact that like you're a content factory because you're fucking insane. I love showing people those things. I don't think that there's anything better, anything more entertaining than real life. I really don't. That's why I have a really hard time when I talk to people about going back into radio. And I had a conversation with a guy last week. He's like, you could do this and you could do that. I'm like, that's not real, dude. Like, that's not, none of those conversations,
right?
None of those bits, none of those things. And then there's a place for them all. But like, you have this ability that not many people do to just be honest and tell the truth. And that's more real to me than anything else. And so that was easy. And when you make a commitment like that, you're going to fucking go on the road. And I already know you're a fucking total snap show. Of course I'm going to say yes. That's entertainment, dude. That's the greatest entertainment is watching someone. But what I didn't know is that, and this is what I didn't care about before, is that it comes with friendship. It comes with a relationship with people that make me a better person. And if I can help those people, then I'm helping myself. Like that, going back to the booze, living out of self is the fastest way to get better. And I love that. I love having phone calls with guys that struggle or people that are having a hard time. I also love talking to people about how we can help make their life better or help them with their work projects. And I don't ever ask anything in return. Like, I don't want anything in return because I know that the altruism of what I'm doing is the right thing to do. And I also know it's got a great, there's a great gap in the business plan that we have that we're focusing on. And we've got a bunch of other things that we're doing. But, if someone said to me, what do you want to do? Is I just want to open up doors for other people now. And I also want to continue to do the kind of show that I love to do. Like today, when we had you on, we had Dr. Mario on, literally batting down anti-COVID shit for an hour and a half, but we had fun doing it. Those things
really did,
because they're part of making the world a bit of a better place. And honest to fucking God, that's why we're here, dude.
Yeah.
Like we're here to take part in the greater good and to love each other and to help each other. And we only work when we do that.
It's funny because and my parents are a part of this, and probably your parents who are the same age because we are or close to it. They live and die by CNN, CNBC, all that bullshit, dude. But the real world is here and now with you, Dean, and on my show. We're real, we're honest, we're raw. You don't talk any guff, you don't take any guff. And it's real and honest and in your face. Guff. And then it's facts. And that's what works. And dude, it's working for you, bro. You laugh, but it is.
I'm laughing that you said guff. I haven't heard guff in like, Jesus, when was the last time I heard guff? I was probably in the 8th grade. No guff,
great
bro.
Word, though.
Yeah, I love it, man. I really do. I really enjoy I enjoy what I do more than I've ever enjoyed what I do. And, just by taking a healthier approach into this, like not what's in it for me, but how can I help other people? it's worked, right? If I had
Yeah.
just done this for myself, if I still was selfish Dean, and I decided that my shit was more important than your shit, or that my sense of entitlement overtook everybody else's right to enjoy themselves, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I'd probably be working at UPS, which is fine. But literally, the only thing that's changed about me, you asked, I've changed so much. I really haven't. I still feel like I'm the same person. I still get pissed off about the same things. I still get angry about the same things. I still am happy about the same things. But instead of going up, down, I'm like this now, dude.
Yeah,
because
I get it.
because that's what this life gives you when you are, I think, when you are focused on
I don't, maybe his phone died. I'm not sure, but live shows. All of a sudden I popped up on the screen. I thought my producer, old Glassy, was like, "Oh, just gonna show Bondzee and it's pretty little flowing air in the wind." But no, we lost Dean. He's back. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry. But that's what this life, sorry about that. That's what this life gives you. When you are not on that hedonic treadmill, when you're focusing on internal gratification instead of external gratification. And I think when you truly do your best for other people, when you don't just say, yeah, I got you, or yeah, I'm gonna help you, when you return a phone call, or you listen to somebody that's having a hard time, or you just focus on doing the right thing. I was never really concerned about the right thing before. Now I am, but it works.
It does, and it has worked for you. Listen, you've graced me with so much time. I know you are old, and this is way past old.
Fuck you.
Time.
Fuck you.
Well, dude, I gotta bust your balls because
I'm 48. You're 100 years older than me. And
the only reason look you're how still fresh up. I look. I've seen old pictures of Dean, and I've seen old pictures of me. I think we're both doing pretty good, mister. We're 1 year apart.
Yeah.
I don't have the flow up top that you do, but I got the nice flow in the back.
I think they call what you got. No, listen. I think they call what you have a skullet.
Pretty much.
I think you have a skullet. Yeah.
I'm not that embarrassed by it. Fucking huge flow in the back. So what about the top? That's why I wear a hat. You summon a bitch.
Holy fuck. That is awesome. Dude, rock that shit. That's
dude, I'm not afraid. Fuck. Who cares?
Well, then stop wearing the fucking hat.
Well, I was gonna show up in the show the other day. Where's my Sally Jesse Raphael glasses? Or here they are. I was gonna show up on the show the other day like this, and because I knew it was gonna get your attention. Because everything I do is I was just gonna show up like this with the flow in the wind, And the Sally Jesse's holding back the look at the size of that fucking forehead. Jesus Christ Almighty.
It's like a 12 head.
It's still thick up there though, dude. I got something.
Yeah. I think I think you should listen. I've given you.
I don't know what to do with it, dude. What do I do with it?
I do. You gotta fucking get rid of it all, man. You can't listen. This is me talking to you off air. Do what you want with your hair, because I think you're a fucking rock star no matter what you do. But I think generally speaking, if you had a day job, you would want to shave that. Yeah. Yeah,
for sure. And I mean, I'm this close to, as you know, and I got this small gig. Well, I shouldn't call it small. It's 3 or 4 months away, but I landed it yesterday. But I'm this close to finishing my reel, which then involves getting an agent, which then involves getting headshots. And you can't really get the headshots wearing a fucking scramble golfing hat or whatever,
If there's a show,
and you can't really go like this either, I don't think. But
if there's a show, if you get into acting, as it sounds like you are getting into it, and they need a guy to play like, an Appalachian mountain pig fucker.
Hey, that's the best about part about Bondzee. I can do it all, dude. I'm ambidextrous.
You'd be great. You'd be great. Deliverance Part 2. Bondzee, lead role. No problem. Get the skullet going. You're fucking awesome.
I just watched that movie for the first time 1 week ago.
Terrifying.
True story. Yeah.
Terrifying.
Holy
when they were
shit.
giving
Could
it
you
to Ned
imagine?
Beatty, when they were giving it to Ned Beatty, I remember watching it with my dad, and my dad's like, great fucking movie. I'm like, they plugging him in the ass? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was like 12. They plugging
Right.
that guy in the ass. He's like, yeah, man, that's the mountains. Don't ever go into the mountains. So for years after that, we drive through the mountains to go to BC. I'm like, Dad, don't stop the fucking car.
Yeah, hightailing her.
Anyway, dude, thank you for having me.
Dude, I am thankful for you. You've been so open and honest. For that, I'm thankful. For everything you've done for me, the platform you've given me for Bondzee Live, Trippin with Bondzee, this whole madness. And the most importantly, Dean, the just the guidance of with the alcohol help and life in general. Dude, I love you.
Love you too, buddy.
I can't thank you enough. And I really am appreciative of everything you have done for Greg Bondzee.
Bondzee, listen here. Thank you. That's wonderful. You're doing all the work. I didn't do anything. I just fucking opened my mouth a couple times and opened a door or two. You do all the work. That's the crazy part. And I hope people get that out of this conversation is that you can have people in your life that make a difference from time to time. You can hear things that matter, but unless you do the work like Bondzee's doing, and listen, progress, not perfection, bro. Like you fucking slip up, you slip up. Don't beat yourself up. I know you've got a problem with guilt. Maybe you fucking, I know you got a real problem with guilt. Like that's the shit that eats away at you. And if you keep this up, that guilt disappears.
I thought you hated me this past weekend when you took my post down and you weren't speaking to me and stuff. And you're like, oh, your post sucked, dude. I was like, dude, it almost made me want to just go to the bar and smash alcohol because I was like, he hates me. I'm going to get fired. Fuck. What did I do?
No,
I beat myself up a lot, dude. Believe me.
Well, yeah, don't. And here's how you stop doing that. There's no good or bad in my day. Not one thing that's good or bad. The only and I mean that in terms of experiences. It's all good. And the reason why it's good is because you're continually evolving and you're learning how to be a better person, different human being. So all of these bad things that you think happen, like when I took your post down because the spelling was fucking atrocious, and then I sent you a note, and I'm like, dude, the spelling is so bad I couldn't put it up, and I'm no spelling hawk.
I put it in a program and it was bad, so I'm sorry.
It's just super bad. And that was after I spent an hour trying to fucking fix it. So, but dude, don't worry about. You got to do you. You got to do your life. Don't worry about little mistakes you make because those mistakes are the best way for you to fucking grow up and learn.
For sure. And I'm learning every single day, my friend. And and alcohol too is I'm learning every day to abstain from it, stay away from it. Talk to you, go to meetings, talk to other friends, and I'm a better person without alcohol. And for a long time, Dean, I never believed that. I thought I needed alcohol to be funny Bondzee and life of the party and stuff, you know. And I have really come to learn that doing this show sober was one of the hardest things I've ever done because I only knew to do it wasted in my parents' basement, then my house, and then when I made the decision to quit drinking the first time. It was weird, but now it's second nature, dude, and I don't get scared anymore. I don't have the butterflies, and I get to have awesome conversations with people like you.
Me too, and I'm thankful for that, brother. I love you.
Thanks so much. It's been a pleasure to chat with you, man.
Thanks, buddy. Great show. I'll hang up and watch online. Is this on? Am I doing it right? See you, buddy.
Love you, buddy. Listen, I had so much more to this show tonight, but I have to end it. After that conversation with one of the greatest human beings who I hold his friendship and everything near and dear to my heart and life. He hates to take credit for stuff, but and he's very humble. But listen, I can be very honest, and I am to a fault. Without people like Dean and without Dean, there's a chance I wouldn't be here. You know, I do struggle. I beat myself up. I'm a perfectionist. Ever since I started this new career, being live, it's all about ratings and getting things. And Dean said that. But you know what? I've learned to come and honestly, I know Facebook shows numbers. Oh, you've got 2 viewers watching. People are like, fucking loser. Guy, 2 people watching his show. What the hell is this guy even doing this for? Those numbers are false and bullshit for number 1. 2, I don't care if fucking 1 person's watching. Since I've started this, I've helped so many people. I've been a big part of people's lives to get through this pandemic, and I've come a long way. And I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize for the swearing. I'm not going to apologize for the burping. I'm not going to apologize for being truthful and honest. It's who I am. It's who I'll always be. It's got me to where I am now. And listen, life's tough. Life's fun. Life's a pisser. Good times, bad times, as Zeppelin said it best. You know, but we're going to have ups and downs, ebbs and flows. Shitty things are going to happen to you. I'm terrified to lose my parents. I'm terrified to lose my dog. It's something I think about every day. It scares the shit out of me. I'm terrified to continue to be an alcoholic. I don't want to fucking drink anymore. I don't. I know I will make it in Hollywood. I know it. I can feel it here. I know it here. I was told. It all comes down to me. It all comes down to you. However you choose to live the rest of your life, choose wisely. Go through the ebbs and flows. Go through the bad times. It's going to happen. I'm going through them. I'm having the greatest time of my life, but I'm struggling. I'm lonely. I'm struggling with booze. It's not a fun time all the time. It's not rainbows and unicorns for Bondzee. Yeah, I'm grinding hard. I love this life. I wouldn't change it for a thing. But know this. Life is hard. Life is what you make it. I know that. I could sit in that fucking bed right there where the dog's laying and go, oh, poor Bondzee, lonely on the road, running out of money. Okay, keep working harder. It's what I do every day. Just keep working harder. You're in charge of yourself. And ultimately, this life is tough. No matter what I don't care if you have $1 trillion in your bank account or you have $0 in your bank account. Life is hard. And it is what you make it. I love each and every one of you. God damn it. Thank you so much for the support tonight. Dean Blundell, God, I love you, man. The interview was amazing. I had a million more questions, but the dude did answer some of the realest, honest questions we've been dying to know forever. And we finally got them answered. Fucking guy was beyond honest. You know, it doesn't get realer and honester and better than that. And I'm thankful it happened on Bondzee Live, on Trippin with Bondzee on YouTube, on the Dean Blundell Network. You guys are sexy. God, I love you. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Have a great rest of the week. I know my producer's putting up a sign. I can't even see it. I'm just in my own world. I love each and every one of you. Leo, thanks for watching. The Sheeple people, DaCosta, Gwen has been a huge part of the show. Jamie Petrie, I love you more than words, dude. You know that. Maria, I love you and your husband. God, give Mark a hug for me, please. Kelly Monahan, God, I love you so much as well. DaCosta's the best. Steve Lassard, thanks for tuning in. Each and every one of you, I love you. It's Bondzee Live. That was the most amazing interview and fun time I've had interviewing anybody. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope you enjoyed watching my dog in the back tonight. And maybe I'll do the show from my bedroom from now on because that just seemed to go swimmingly. By golly, by gee. What do you think, Tuck? Did I do a good job? Tell the people. Tell them. Rest in peace, Charlie Watts. Super, super sad news. God damn it. I wanted to get into that, but that's it. That's all. I'm wearing it in memory. Had the greatest time on Dean Blundell show today. Had the greatest time interviewing him tonight. I hope you all loved it. Bondzee Live Friday night with the most amazing magician, Alex Kazam. He's a fabulous dude. You'll love his magic. You'll love his mind fuck. That's it. That's all. It's Bondzee Live on Trippin with Bondzee on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network.